Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another MTG Arena starter deck series. Today we're going to take a look at the Golgari Exploration starter deck to continue the starter deck series. So let's check out the deck. This is the deck. We have one 1-drop in Deadeye Tracker, which is also one of the rares in the deck. That is a constant source of exploration, which we will see later is relevant. Then we have Enter the Unknown, which is sort of a pseudo cantrip. Like basically it's because of the Explore, it's either a cantrip or puts a +1/+1 counter on a unit of your on a creature of your choice, and at the same time allows you to play an additional land that turn, synergizes with the duration. So it's kind of like a weak cantrip, like a weak actual Explore. Then we have 2 Seeker's Guide, a 1/2 Explore that is a 2/3 if the Explore doesn't draw your card. Then we have an Ixalis Diviner, which once again, thanks to the Explore, is either a 0/3 that draws you a land or a 1/4 for 2. So both are pretty solid outcomes. Then we have the Merfolk Branchwalker, another pretty good card that is basically either a bad Silvergill Adept or a 2-mana 3/2. Wildgrowth Walker, one of the payoff cards for exploring. That's where stuff like Deadeye Tracker comes in handily, and this can grow out of hand quickly and gaining 3 life. Each trigger is also a lot. Then we have some removal here in 2 Moment of Craving and 1 Walk the Plank, and a Shadowed Caravel as other exploration synergy, explore synergy, and another rare. This just keeps growing with the Explore, so it's another payoff for Explore. And yeah, has crew too. Then we have some more Explore, another rare, and another repeating source of Explore. Basically, you can even go like activate this, then if the Explore draws a land, you can just use that land to activate it again and so on. And it has ManuS. Then we have 2 Shahnaz Wayfinder, another mediocre Explore card, and a Threshing Brontodon, which is a pretty good 3-drop in general and also nice utility. Jungle Creeper, something that gives you another little bit of payoff from exploring, because if you see this with Explore, you can just choose to put it in your graveyard, which is pretty nice, because then later you can bring it back for free. Then we have a Doomfall as like removal/disruption, another removal and Reaper Ambush, and a Golden Demise to not get run over early while we're setting up. This is like the biggest Explorer payoff in Lurking Chupacabra, giving a creature the opponent controls -2/-2 until end of turn for each Explorer trigger that you have is a super big deal. This card's really powerful. Then we also got a Ravenous Chupacabra as additional removal, and Emperor's Vanguard as additional, although kind of weak, source of Explore, because it needs to hit the enemy player to explore, so it's not that reliable, and it's also not that impressive, but it's another one of the rares of the deck. Then we have the Mythic of the deck, Vizier of the Menagerie, which helps you sort of grind out the game with all the Explore advantage and all the other grind stuff, and this is just lets you draw creatures for free and so on. Then we have some more removal, just 4-mana sorcery, destroy target creature in Impale, and another rare that gives you more Explore triggers by making every creature you play Explore, in addition to whatever Explore or not Explore triggers they might have already. Then we have a Mausoleum Harpy, sort of a potential finisher that can grow bigger once we have ascended to the City's Blessing. Tendershoot Dryad is another ascent card that can take over the game and finish it, which is why there's like the deck is definitely looking more towards grinding and go into the later game, which you can see by these ascent cards and grindy cards. Another removal, final reward. Here we get a 5 mana instant speed that hits any creature, but it exiles it instead of destroys it, and is an instant. Unlike Impale, but is also more expensive. Then as curve toppers, we get Scaled Behemoth, a big hexproof guy that can just sort of be a pain for the more controlling starter decks, and a Sifter Worm as final curve topper, 7/7 trample for 7, that lets you scry 3, and also gains you a bunch of life to make sure that you actually survive to have this guy start attacking the opponent. And then we have 25 land, like all of the a bit bigger decks here, especially with so much explore, you're gonna be much more likely to hit your land drops than with other decks, so the 25 work just fine with the 5, 6, and 7s the deck has. There's one If Near Dead lands for like some desert synergies, and then Hayshep Oasis, 9 Swarms, 10 Forests, and 4 Foul Orchard for fixing. And that rounds out the deck. Deck looks pretty solid, like I can totally see this being in the better half of the starter decks. Like my guess would be that it's at least in the top 5 out of the 10 starter decks. It has a lot of good answers, powerful cards, generates a lot of potential card advantage, and overall has very few really bad cards, if any. They're all solid to good. So yeah, I like how this deck looks, and it's a nice like show-off concept for these explore-centric decks. And I think before Amonkhet was out, one of the best decks other than Merfolk in Mono Ixalan was basically the Lurking Chupacabra Golgari Exploration deck, because that was the only deck that I was scared of with Merfolk, because that card completely tore Merfolk to shreds, and was the only card that I felt like is a competition for Merfolk. But yeah, now we have a bigger and more diverse format, so not sure how good a green-black Explore deck would be at the higher levels in proper standard, basically. But we'll see how this does on gold ladder for us, and if we can win some games against the real decks, because by now people are mostly playing real decks, so it's a lot harder to win with these starters. But the videos are more aimed at people that getting into the beta now, who will get into the beta later, and then only have these starters to work with, and also have to fight well with real decks potentially. Alright, that's it for the deck tech, Golgari Exploration. Time to take it to ranked. As usual, gonna play 3 games, battle a bit with it, to give you an idea how it plays out, and also how well it does compared to the other starters in the current metagame. Alright, stay tuned for game 1 up next, see you in a moment.